Hi everyone, I hope everyone's enjoying their day. I decided to record my video outside today because it was sunny today, and actually I gotta go like this because then the sun gets in the way. So for this video today, I thought I would introduce myself a little bit because I know in my first video I didn't introduce myself as much, and then I kind of wanted to talk about how I decided to self-publish and how I came up with the content for my book and go into a little more detail about that. So first off, as I did mention in my other videos, my name is Vanessa Monica Serrao, author again of Anxiety Girl, and I self-published my book. It came out in 2017, but I began writing the story I think about 2015. And I remember I came up with the idea after I was dealing with my initial experience of anxiety, which was pretty bad because it was the first time I was ever dealing with it, and I wasn't even aware of what anxiety was, so it was kind of a big shock and scare dealing with all the symptoms and everything. I remember it was right after I graduated university. That's when my anxiety was really bad and it started, and I think it mostly had to do with I didn't really know what I wanted to do with as a career, and I was just so used to being like in school. I got comfortable with that, and now it's just like I was putting pressure on myself. Oh my god, like now I have to find a career and all this, like I'm supposed to have everything accomplished by this age, even though that's literally not the case anymore. Now there's not a certain time where you have to accomplish certain things. I know people like to set goals for themselves, and that's really good, but I guess I had assumed I already had to know what I was going to be doing with my life, and that really just like scared me. So then I remember I was just putting a lot of pressure with myself, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know what I want to do. So then I remember, sorry, I keep moving here and the sun keeps going, blocking. I remember my mom just telling me, don't worry, like you're gonna figure it out. And even though, of course, when someone tells you don't worry, that doesn't exactly help, and you worry even more. Then I had developed like insomnia as well as acid reflux because of all the stress and anxiety. Like I said, I had a lot of trouble sleeping, and then I lost a lot of weight. I think my lowest, I was like 100 pounds, which is not healthy for me. I was way too skinny. Also because of the acid reflux, I wasn't eating as much, and then I kind of just lost all my confidence in everything. So you're probably wondering, after all that, how was I able like to overcome that? And even though to this day I still deal with anxiety, I'm able to manage it a lot better, and it's a lot more minor. I kind of, even though after my initial experience with anxiety, I still kind of, I like to use the word relapse, even though that's more with people like, with substance abuse and stuff like that. But I did kind of like relapse because then I was continuing to have bad anxiety on and off again. But now since about, I want to say December of 2019, it's been pretty manageable. I still have my moments here and there, but definitely more on the minor side. And I've also been on and off on medication, but now I've been off medication for about, again, since about December 2019, and I'd really not like to go back on it, even though it did help take the edge off. But one of the medications I was on, Zoloft, it made my anxiety worse. Then a different medication I was on called mirtazapine, it did immediately help with sleep, but then there's other side effects that they were tolerable, but they're not fun, like shakes, and then it lowers your sex drive as well. And then I just felt tired like all the time, and I would fall asleep like early, like 8 o'clock in the evening, and like, not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but just always feeling tired all the time and drowsy. That's what the drugs do. Just I didn't really like that, so I'm happy to be off my meds now for a while, and I'm feeling relatively good. Like I said, I have my moments here and there, but doing a lot better, and I'm glad there's a lot of other techniques that I use where I don't have to resort to medication. But you know, I know there's a big stigma with meds, but you know, I understand why people need them, and there are people that are worse off of me that really rely on those meds. So if you need to take meds, there's nothing wrong with that. But anyway, got off a little off topic there. So now what I wanted to talk about is how I decided to self-publish Anxiety Girl. So I remember after my initial experience, when I was feeling better, on Twitter, some random business reached out to me saying to write a story and it could get published, and to send over a manuscript. So then it was in this summertime, I don't remember, I think it's the summer of 2015, then I came up with the story because I had such good content of like what I had been through with my anxiety. And then I wrote the story of Anxiety Girl, and then I decided I obviously wanted to base it off me, the main character, but then I was going to do a first person voice, and then I decided I wanted to change it and have someone else telling the story, so in third person, which a lot of people think is interesting as well. And then each chapter I start off with lyrics or like little poems I've written as well, and it's all based pretty much on my experience and my life and what happened. It's mostly nonfiction, but I changed the character names, and one of the characters, the narrator, is not real, is someone I made up, and some things are fabricated, but mostly it's nonfiction. And I'm really like proud of myself, because I know a lot of people that they tell me, oh, like I want to self-publish and I want to write a book, but I don't think it's good enough. But you know, I'm really glad I went through with this, even though self-publishing can be expensive, but it's totally worth it. And then you can make the money back with all the sales you make. And being an author is not easy, but it is very rewarding, and I've been able to connect with a lot of people who also deal with anxiety or mental health issues, and I've had a lot of supporters buy my book on Amazon, and now more recently I've gotten it on Indigo, and also I have it as an audiobook and ebook, as I mentioned. And Instagram has been the best to connect with people, and I've had a lot of people interested in buying my book and said they really were able to connect with it, and it said that it didn't make them feel alone. I remember I had someone from Italy buy my book, from someone from England, and they just said, oh my gosh, like I don't feel alone, this is exactly what I'm going through. And that was literally the aim of why I wanted to put this book out there, to help people, to spread more awareness for anxiety and mental health, because it literally to this day is still pushed under the rug. There's still a stigma with it, but it's improved a lot over the years. I remember when I first had it, and then compared to now, like it's so, a lot more people talk about it. And you know, I know there are people that are still ashamed and, you know, hide that they have it, and like I totally understand that, because I used to be like that, but now I'm more open about it, and I talk about it with people, and literally there's nothing to be ashamed about. So many people have it. Like in Canada alone, and it is one of the most, anxiety is one of the most common mental health disorders. Me myself, I have generalized anxiety disorder, GAD, and I also deal with a bit of social anxiety, which has improved, and I'd say a little bit of OCD, but not the common OCD. I wouldn't even really diagnose it as like OCD, but certain things like about my skin and stuff I used to like obsess about, but and it has to do with like compulsions and stuff like that. So I totally do get that, and like a lot of people just don't understand unless you don't experience it yourself. It's kind of hard to understand, but I love to educate people, and I've even had people who don't even deal with anxiety, but they said they would bought it for like their friends or partners to help them understand, and I think that's amazing. So I've even had to like talk to people to try to educate them, and I know it's hard if you don't have it, but the fact that people really want to understand and learn about it, I think that's really really great, and I think it's so important, because especially a lot of people don't realize, okay, yes, anxiety might not be as serious as having cancer, but at the end of the day, it is just as serious because of the, how do I describe this, the physical symptoms and then the health issues that you can develop, and then if it's not managed over time, like it could turn into like something serious. Like I said, I had dealt with some health issues because of anxiety, even though it wasn't very, very serious, but something that still should not be ignored and looked after. And then even if you don't get serious health issues, the point of the matter being, it can dampen your mood, and it's just very toxic and negative. The negative thoughts that you develop, it's just not healthy. You want to have a positive mindset, and that's something you literally have to work on your own. Yes, there are resources and tools out there, but you have to put the effort in and do them. You have to put the work in. I remember when my anxiety was really bad, I would meditate every day. I would do progressive muscle relaxation. You can just search that up on YouTube. It's a really good technique to use. Yoga is a good technique. Mindfulness is really good. There are so many techniques out there as well. I would do counseling and exercise, a combination of all these things, and then also just talking to people you're comfortable with, not even a counselor, but even that is very helpful, because if you don't talk about what's going on in your head, it just, you really just make yourself suffer. So it's really important to do that and to talk to someone, because when these thoughts just remain with you, it just makes it harder and harder on yourself. So since 2017, I've been doing pretty good, and that's why I also decided to make a YouTube channel to try to promote my book more. Like on Amazon, I have it on many different marketplaces. So for example, Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, which is in Canada, obviously, in Italy, in Spain, in the UK, in Amazon India. So it's literally available many parts of the world, which is awesome. And I've had it spread all over these marketplaces where people have bought them. It's also available on Barnes and Noble, which is strictly online, and then now, like I said, recently it's also available on Indigo, which is nice. A lot of people have liked that recently. And then, as I've mentioned, I have it as an ebook. A lot of people enjoy reading on Kindles, and then I also have it as an audiobook, not narrated by me. I got someone that I found to do the narration, and a lot of people have enjoyed the audiobook as well. Say when you're driving, you can listen to it. You know, I really liked that I have it on different platforms. So again, if you are interested in checking it out, Anxiety Girl by Vanessa Monica Sorreo, it's on Amazon, and again, Barnes & Noble and Indigo. It is also on Goodreads, so you can check it out if you're interested. And aside from the people, I just want to mention that have actually bought my book, and thank you so much for that. I've had people share in their Instagram stories to promote my book, left reviews, just shared with friends, and that's been very helpful. I think it's so important to support young authors, Canadian authors as well, but young authors in general, because it is not easy, you know, to market your book yourself, and you know, it is very rewarding to write your own book. So if you are thinking of writing a book, I definitely would recommend it. And self-publishing is definitely a good way to go, because publishing yourself, a lot of people get denied by these publishers, and you know, there's just not enough publishers out there. So self-publishing is definitely a great way to go. Like I said, it can be a little bit pricey, but it's definitely worth it, and then you can make the money back. And a great way to promote your book, like I said, Instagram has been the best for me, and I also use Facebook. I have a Facebook page, and then now I have my YouTube channel, and then I also share on Twitter and LinkedIn, but I guess the best for me has been Instagram to reach my crowd. And with my Instagram account, which is at Anxiety Girl Novel, and I think I'm almost at 1,000 followers on there. So I've got a nice network of people on there. I'm able to connect with a lot of people. It's been great. I also connected with this woman who does a non-profit organization that has to do with bullying, and I thought that was really interesting because it also relates to anxiety, and because I'm in early childhood education, I think that's really important. So I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover. That's the back of the book again. If you haven't seen it, this is like a really old copy I have. It's like ruined, but this is just for myself. So if you have any other questions, you can feel free to leave them in the comments. I'm going to be doing more content, and I'm going to talk about certain topics that are in my book and go into more detail, and I'll go into the character of Monica, which is me in the book. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and feel free to subscribe to my channel. Thanks guys, bye.